In one place at one time on one day of the year, felons and thieves crime for hope and for cheer. Thick snow and bright lights form a warmth to behold, but the warmth of one man leaves another to the cold.
Won't be stopped by no coppers or no CIA spooks. I got hope in my heart and a knife in my shoes. They can fear or respect you, but they cannot do both. My pops always told me as I swear to my oath. To crime is to live, to break and to bend. To live by your means and die by your ends.
A crack of lightning and a snowstorm nonetheless, framing his statement in fear and duress. He didn't know what he wanted, to live or to die, but sometimes all alone, faith comes from a lie. What happens to this boy with his life to reclaim? What could only be described as a mystery by any other name.
Case 1-A, Snowblind.
This story begins with a test of patience. On the 24th of December, tired parents and overworked employees found themselves stuck in a snowstorm and kept from their homes on a highway overlooking the city. As tempers boiled over, the push for freedom came to a head, and imagined cause overcame reason, provoking the universe to make a bad problem worse, as a trailer, far from home, fishtailed onto its side, prolonging the already glacial march. But the cause for concern was twofold, as the presence of the cargo, no doubt held by the vessel, strapped down and hidden within its steel belly, had disappeared. A robbery, unseen, yet with 100 witnesses. In the distance a foghorn moans, or is it the cry of something forgotten? But that's where we come in.
This is Davies.
You see, I am but the subconscious of one Detective Davies.
Badge number 115, the Good Hope Police Precinct. Reporting for a 1050?
As if hearing an argument underwater. Currently suffering in the cold, our detective receives hurried words over his dispatch transponder that if he solves this case quickly, he might finally speak face to face with the reputably faceless commissioner.
Really?
Whether a true statement or an empty promise, optimism and helping is already our driving force. Plus, shaking hands with the odious forms that pace behind the commissioner's frosted glass would be too good to pass up. So then, detective, let's get swimming.
Okay, here we go. An overturned truck loses its cargo on a highway in a snowstorm, and I have an hour on the clock to find out who stole it. I can do that. First things first, create a timeline. Around 8 p.m., reports of a holiday traffic jam crossed local news outlets. The accident in question was reported around 8:29, and the authorities arrived shortly after. Readjusting the transport let the parties look inside, which led to them noticing the contents had been taken, which then leads to me, at the current time of 9:05, inconveniencing all these people right now.
I pause for a moment to cross out timeline on my well-structured list, and a string of curses ring out amongst the highway-turned hellscape, putting a punctuation on my actions.
Okay, now for evidence.
Like a needle to a magnet, I began to peruse the cramped crime scene, taking great pride in my perceived ingenuity.
A halcyon-grade trailer tipped over onto its left side, at least 2 witnesses behind, and a possibility for 2 in front. Now for the inside. How do I get inside?
After an awkward few seconds, we found what could charitably be called an entrance. We've never investigated a crime scene with an audience before, but the chance for glamour seemed to pass when opening what we only know as the tiny door on the bigger door proved too much for us.
I can do this!
We couldn't do this.
Oh no!
According to the self-locking door and the increasingly warmer air, it seems this is a heated trailer, and we are trapped inside it.
Cool. Okay.
We think back to when we first applied for the junior detective program. What was it? Let the city do its worst?
No turning back now.
Indeed.
Well, I shouldn't be worried. Talk about chilling out.
This is a defense mechanism.
Okay, the trailer is in fact mostly empty, barring the massive dent, the worrying stains, some unfolded boxes labeled Toasty Lux.
A coveted gift for this freezing time of year. The words cloud of comfort have never been so out of place.
I thought these were sold out.
Our mind fires, but the marks on the dented walls lead to more confusion.
Not gross stains, footprints on a wall.
Work boots, to be exact, leading to an exit.
Oh, thank God!
The relief passes quickly, as our freedom seems to be flush with the ceiling. A message left behind.
Not today. Cool. Okay, well, game it out. You've successfully tipped over the trailer you've been trailing, and after patting yourself on the back, you move through the chaos. Just a concerned citizen, and enter inside from the faulty back door? No. The now much more accessible roof, now side door.
Our body moves on its own, tracing a finger across the air to copy the culprit's path.
You found your cargo, but it's strapped down, and you have a driver who's no doubt coming to check on their livelihood, so you have to move quickly. You cut the straps, no time for precision, but the gravity overtakes the spray can nearby, simultaneously creating a noise to inspect and footprints to leave behind. A sloppy mistake. Literally.
Good one. You
You grab as much as you can carry, leaving nothing behind, and escape the way you came. And then what do?
Our train of thought is lost when we realize we need to see the outside to get the full picture. We eye the length of the trailer, looking for any source of elevation, and come to rest at our own blurry reflection. A moment of adoration turns to quiet contemplation.
Why is there a mirror in here?
In a moment of desperate curiosity, we press our face up against the glass, and the outside world begins to clarify.
It's two-way!
For the driver to check on their cargo. Peering through the glass, we see two warmly lit seats with a pizza box and a coffee pot resting on the dashboard. A Christmas tree dangling from a hook in stark contrast. A visage no doubt seen through hours at a time on costly commutes, and most importantly, a seam indicating a movable obstruction.
Ooh, haha!
Sliding down the back of the window with the palms of our hands, it seems we have solved the escape room we've put ourselves into, but there is still a lead to chase.
Yep.
Planting our foot on our newly found step stool, we leap to the heavens, catching the lazily dangling handle and stick to our culprit's chosen path.
I'm free!
The familiar feeling of freezing air and the incessant honking of horns is a welcoming one, but we have some cargo to find.
Now, where would you go?
We tilt our head, mimicking the truck, and consider the possibilities, our eye line turning to the many heads in cars searching for an option.
No way.
The only direction left, the city below. We cross out evidence with a defeated sigh.
Well then, next up is statements. If I can find whoever filed the report, I could probably get a better read on the situation, assuming they had a better view of the accident. But, given that those things can take dispatch quite a bit of time, a guaranteed source of information would definitely be the driver of the vehicle. And finally, the sacrosanct question that we're all thinking of is no way all this goes down and no one sees what caused it, which means this should be as simple as asking a few questions.
And we did. Passing through awkward angles and corners, persuading a path through the maze of automobiles, we acquired a rhythm of knocking on windows and speaking in turn. The Socratic method in brilliant display.
Hey! Hi! Hello!
After quickly finding close-by witnesses with surprisingly less frustration, a narrative began to emerge from the acquired testimonies.
Lots of accidents occur here. It all happened pretty fast. I don't want to get involved. I didn't see anyone.
Huh!
3 different testimonies, and yet verbatim, this accident had no perpetrator. A curious prospect and one that no doubt needed to be resolved, but on our way back to the scene of the crime, a man, out of place, clad in suit and tie, blocked the already thin path, and approached.
Can I help you?
He shook our hand like he was paying a tip, quick and practiced, our first sign that he was more than he seemed. He posits that we've been looking for him, and hands us a formal cream-colored folder. With practiced caution, we inspect the piece of paper, our eyes scanning from left to right, committing every word to memory like we've done so many times before. And something clicks.
It was you who reported the accident.
The unmistakable visage of a police report lays open between our hands, but we cannot make right the notion that it came from someone unburdened with a badge.
How did you get this?
The words come out shorter than we would have liked, but our pointed words fall on deaf ears. Gone, like he was never even there, but the papers in our hands say otherwise. After casting our gaze across the distance and finding nothing, we return back to the stranger's gift and search for something, anything, hidden between the words. The entirety of an incident encapsulated on a page. Dates, names, phone numbers, injuries.
A collision concussion with no lasting injuries. Okay.
Our driver was not present to check his cargo or log his injuries, but his coworker was.
Simon Porter, male, age 18, intern.
In an investigation, it is custom to make a list of suspects, and I think we just found the name that lies at the top.
Also the suit guy.
Also, the suit guy. What happens next is where the specialty of a detective must shine through. An interrogation. The difference between thinking in a straight line rather than sideways or upside down. Catching facial tics and body language. Answers that come too quick or not quick enough. Information not matching up with a well-crafted lie. One of these people cares much more about their story than the others.
A cab driver, a tourist, an accountant, and our prime suspect, Simon Porter. I like him for this.
As we lay out all the facts, every piece of evidence that says a culprit should be easy to find, the answers come back the same.
Lots of accidents occur here. It did all happen pretty fast. I don't want to get involved. I didn't see anyone.
At first it seemed like a dead end, but once we finally got Simon Porter's report sheet, a valorous criminal record lining the margins, the answer became a lot clearer. Timelines, evidence, and webs of human emotion, all channeled into a single thought.
Here's what happened. Good Hope has been undergoing a record flash freeze, and not one person is a stranger to the cold, even the people providing a solution for it. Halcyon Industries, makers of the Toasty Luxe heated blanket and the myriad of home appliances, decided they would sell their cherished new invention to the masses, and the masses began to respond in kind. We'll try anything because we own everything. Yet, they never showed up. You see, the prospect of ambivalence was a great look, but actually executing on that promise would have been just too much for a company to bear. So they delayed and delayed and delayed until it was blatantly obvious but seemed too good to be true was just that. So one boy took his life into his own hands. One Simon Porter. With a criminal record, applying for jobs is an arduous process, but Halcyon doesn't worry about background checks for the more disposable of employees. So, you donned the perfect disguise to fade into the background. An intern. When Halcyon began to recall their product, you were the first to volunteer for a ride-along, a devious plan already brewed to perfection. You know this city like the back of your hand, and you turn every corner with confidence. Using the snowstorm as a cover, you would find a place to tip the trailer and release the cargo to the people who truly need it. But the route took a steep turn onto a highway far and above the city streets you planned to serve, so you had to improvise. A concussion, even a minor one, was not part of the plan, but the consequences would have to wait. You had a plan to enact. Deathly aware of passing time, your surroundings matched your panicked state. Everything had turned on its side. One by one, you send the box blanket skyward, hoping your actions would be enough to give someone, anyone, protection from the elements. But once the adrenaline stopped, your secret plan had been found. Of course it had. You must have known you'd be caught, but the fear hit just the same. Men and women you're trying to help stared on in confusion, fear, surprise. This was it. No more life to reclaim. But what came next was a miracle.
In one place, at one time, on one day of the year, a thief chose to steal for hope and for cheer. Thick snow and cold nights beg for warmth to behold, and the warmth of one man causes others to be bold.
They wouldn't turn you in, they just let you walk away, and now I've gone and found you, which brings us to today. You placed them in peril, though your intentions were good, so head home with a warning. Feel as pure as you should.
No commissioner to consult, our first case is cost, yet worthwhile for those souls who in frost were lost. The man who aided vanished into the night, his whereabouts a puzzle, hidden from sight. A mystery, intriguing, where does he claim fame? Another day shall reveal, a mystery by any other name.